Hello and welcome everyone to etbrandequity.com. We have Sania Mirza, the Grand Slam champion, here with us, and she's in conversation with us for her recent collaboration with Booking.com for their campaign called the Explorers campaign. So now that we're talking about Booking.com, Sania, why did you get associated with this brand? What clicked?
Well, all my life, actually, all the brands that I've tried to be associated with or endorse have been brands that I truly believe in, the brands that I actually use, and I feel that booking.com is one such thing that I definitely used before I was associated with them. So when we were told about it, it was something that was very natural for me. As everybody knows, I think traveling is such a big part of my life. It's such a big part of who I am and what I do. And it's when you go on booking.com, you will realize how seamless it is. I mean, right now we all know how difficult it is to travel, so the least that can be done is at least booking should be easier. So I think that booking.com does that really, really well. There are so many different restrictions everywhere. Every day you travel, there's so many rules and new regulations. And I'm just it was something that came very naturally to me to be associated with them, because I truly believed in booking.com, because that's something that I used and I really recommend for people to use.
Okay. So now that we are on the topic of believing in brands, what is it that you see in brands normally before you choose to get associated with them?
Well, like I said, I mean, I try to endorse brands that I actually do use myself. I mean, there's not, there's no point, I feel personally, to endorse things that I won't use for myself or that I don't use for my family. And booking.com is one such thing that I definitely use, because I travel so much and so extensively week after week. It's very easy for us to make those changes and those bookings. And for me, I've come in as the India Explorer for booking.com, which was very exciting for me, because I got to share my travel tales, my experiences, and so many things. I mean, I've been traveling since the age of 8 years old. First, it used to be in India, then it was outside of India. So, for me, it was really, really nice to talk about my journey through booking.com and with them. And like I said, it is a very natural progression and natural partnership for me.
Great. That now that you said about being an India explorer, I read that you have mentioned that you want to explore more parts of India. Would you enlighten us more on that? What are the parts you want to explore more in India?
So I have traveled a lot, obviously, but I've not been able to travel and enjoy the places. I think that the way I should have, because I always traveled for tennis and I was always focused on playing and winning and all that. So I would love to I would love to go back to Agra. I think I would love to go back to, just as a tourist, not as a tennis player or as an athlete, but as a tourist, I would love to explore places like Jaisalmer, to see palaces. I'm very intrigued by palaces and stuff. So I would love to go to Udaipur. And I would definitely love to go maybe to Leh Ladakh. I've never been to that side in the north. So it would be really, really amazing. I think for me, exploring new places and traveling has taught me so many things, and it's really made me who I am. It's been such a big part of my life. Like I said, it's been part of my existence, because without travel I could not have done what I have done. And for me, traveling 35 weeks a year is something that I've done since a very, very young age. But I would love to travel the world, I think, as a tourist when I'm done playing. And I would love to try and do the things and explore things in a way that have not been done by me, just going and trying to play tennis.
So, talking about exploring the world as a tourist and not as an athlete, what are the, if you were to list the top three places, what are the places across the world that you would, want to revisit as a tourist?
Well, like I said, I would definitely like to visit, I think, Jaisalmer. In India, I would definitely like to visit these few places that I mentioned, whether it was Jaisalmer, Udaipur. I have been to Jaipur, but I've not been able to see how beautiful it is, I'll be honest. I would love to go to Bora Bora, because I love water and I love sand. So I would love to go there. I think I would love to go back to Rome, That's one of the places that I feel that can be explored so much, no matter how many times you go. I would love to go back to Venice. I have been there, but I would love to go back just as a tourist as well.
Great, great. Also, speaking of brand endorsements again, if you were to, say a category, is there any category where, in with the blink of an eye, you would just say yes, and a category where, you'd prefer steering clear of it? Are there any preferences when it comes to that?
But for me, for example, like, and when we started having conversations with booking.com, straight away for me it was a yes, because for me that is something that I relate to. If it's something to do with sport, if it's something to do with now, if it's something to do with kids, obviously I relate to that as well, having my own child. Obviously depending on what it is, but yeah, I mean, I'm open to doing different things because it's something that I've always loved doing. But these are the categories where I feel as soon as it's related to sport or to now to children or to travel, it's definitely my top three, because I think that I relate to those things the most, whether it's a sports drink, whatever it may be, whether it's clothing. So yeah, I relate to these few things a lot.
Now that you've brought up, being a mother, how do you balance, your, career as a sports person, and, your endorsements and your, personal life? How are you managing it?
Honestly, I think I'm very fortunate to have a very good team and support system around me. I don't think I would be able to do it without them at all. I mean, it's whether it's my sister or my family, my husband, my parents. They all play a part. And when it comes to my tennis, it's my coaches and my trainers and my psychologist. Everybody plays a great part, because like you said, it is very difficult. There's a lot of time management that goes into it. There's a lot of scheduling that goes into it, and yeah, so it's something. I don't know, if you ask me the answer to it, I don't know how I do it. All I know is that I have to do it because I love it. So for me, it's part of who I am, to be busy, to work and to juggle things, and I like it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Nice. And speaking of difficulties, times are difficult for the entire world, and travel industry has seen its share of ups and downs. So how do you, as a face of booking.com through this campaign, plan to, bring back the true essence of travel?
I think booking.com makes it a lot easier for enthusiasts, also as tennis players who work for professional reasons like me, to give you the best travel advice, and to make life a lot easier in these difficult times. The when the borders closed, the world came to an absolute halt, and I kind of took this time to, rediscover what I wanted. I think that we all took traveling for granted. We just thought, okay, we have a visa, we'll just pick up our bag, pack, and leave. It's really not that simple anymore. We need to get COVID tests. We need to understand what in that country do we need to do. Is there quarantine? How much there is? And I think that it's really made me appreciate travel a lot more. And I want to pass this message on to people that travel is the best experience and the best education that you can receive. And hopefully booking.com and myself are able to convince and also explain to people how much of luxury today travel is, but how much it will help us and our kids in learning and exploring the world. So yeah, I feel that I feel that traveling is tough today, but with a 2.5-year-old it's even tougher, like I'm doing. But it can be done, and there are many people who are there to try and make it easier for you. And I think booking.com is obviously really doing a good job, and I hope that I can contribute.
Great. Interesting that you mentioned travel being, the best kind of education. So, I have read you also feel the same way, that travel has been a great source of education for you. How has travel, positively impacted your life, or in any way impacted your life?
I think travel impacted my life on the whole. I mean, it has really made me who I am. Like I said, traveling was something that I did since I was very young. I mean, by very young, I probably didn't even understand, when we used to travel by car, by train when I was much younger. when I was like 9, 10 years old with the whole family in tow. And then obviously then we started traveling internationally, and I just felt like the my friends, they were learning about history and geography in books, and I was learning it while traveling. Many times I would get to see those places, I would get to see different cultures, and I would get to see different people and how they are, how they eat. There are so many different amazing things throughout the world. And only when you travel is when your sort of your mindset also, and it broadens your mindset to many things in adapting to things. So for me, travel has been a huge part of my life, and it's really made me who I am. And I wish that it's the same for my kid as well. I hope that Izhan is able to travel the world, have his own experiences, and see his own world in his own way, and learn from that. And I feel that it really broadens you as a person.
Great. And we are closing towards the end. So my last question to you would be like, you were recently, you're associated with Century Mattress and Booking.com. So are we seeing brand Sania Mirza emerge in terms of endorsements again? And are we going to see more of you in this endorsement, field?
Well, we'll wait and watch, right? I mean, I do and have been endorsing a lot of products all my life, but I'm very clear about the fact that I like to endorse things that I believe in. So that is something that is very close to my heart, and that's something that I will always stand by.
Perfect. It was really, really great talking to you, Sania, about all the travel diaries of yours, about your brand endorsements, and we hope to see more of you. And all the best for all your future endeavors.
Thank you.